Good morning, everybody. Yeah, long time no see. I hope, all of us are safe and sound. All right. So let's continue our study on Samadhi. First of all, let's do the prayer. Let's sit upright, place our palms together, and concentrate on the prayer below. We take refuge with our kind mentor Benny. We take refuge with Shakyamuni Buddha. We take refuge with all the triple jewel of the 10 directions and the 3 periods of time. Once for opening our future. There's a past, profound, and wonderful Dharma. In hundreds of millions of years, it's difficult to encounter. We now see and hear it, receive and uphold it, and we want to fathom the Tathagata's true meaning, and we want to practice the Tathagata's true way, and we want to attain the Tathagata's true state. We vow that we can spontaneously express the Buddha's understanding, Buddha's view, Buddha's wisdom, Buddha's merit and virtue, Buddha's capability and Buddha's state through our actions, speech, and thoughts. We also vow that all living beings can enter into the Buddha's understanding, Buddha's view, Buddha's wisdom, Buddha's merit and virtue, Buddha's capability, and Buddha's state owing to us. So that's the prayer for today's lecture. And during the past week, we had a break, and due to the business issue. Now we came back and let's do the review for the whole paragraph first, okay? Let's listen to the video. What we've learned during the past week, okay?
In fact, we may be more transfixed by illusions than ever. Plato had Socrates describe a group of people. Plato had Socrates describe a group of people who lived chained in a cave all their lives, facing a blank wall. All they could see were shadows projected on the wall by the things passing in front of a fire, which was behind them. This puppet show became their world. According to Socrates, the shadows were as close as the prisoners would ever get to seeing reality. Even after being told about the outside world, they continued to believe that the shadows were all that is. Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Plato had Socrates describe a group of people who lived chained in a cave all their lives, facing a blank wall. All they could see were shadows projected on the wall by the things passing in front of a fire, which was behind them. This puppet show became their world. According to Socrates, the shadows were as close as the prisoners would ever get to seeing reality. Even after being told about the outside world, they continued to believe that the shadows were all that is. Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
Yeah, during the past, we've learned some people are living in the cave and chained, facing a blank wall. And to see the shadows because there is a fire behind them. They were in the middle. They are in the middle. So on the wall there are shadows of. Yeah, there are shadows. This this is just like the puppet show. Do you know puppet show? Puppet show? Yeah, the puppet show is the word of them. Is the word of them. So this is the Socrates description. Socrates. Yeah, Socrates description. In his description, yeah, this is the real world of the people who can see only shadows. So even after being told about the outside world, the people continued to believe that the shadows were all that is. Yeah, the shadows were the whole world. Yeah. So let's continue with the last sentence. Even if what?
Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
Yeah. So that's the state of the mindset. The mindset. Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Yeah, very interesting, right? Even if they suspected what? There was something more. There was something more. There was something more. They were unwilling to leave what was familiar. So during this is the sentence 49 we're going to learn today. And yeah, there are three new words and expressions. First one is suspect. Suspect, what does it mean? This is a verb, and it could be transitive or intransitive. Both of them are okay. And what does it mean? It means that you have an idea that something is probably true or likely to happen, especially something bad, but without having definite proof. Yeah, when they're not sure about the proof. Yeah, they're not sure about the proof, but has but have the idea. Okay, and another word is unwilling. Be unwilling to do something. It means it has the opposite meaning of be willing to do something. So unwilling, it means not wanting to do something, and refusing to do something. This is an adjective. Be willing to do something. Be unwilling to do something. And the other word is familiar. Sorry, I made a mistake and didn't paste the syllable here. Phonetic symbol here. I will do that. Familiar. And it is also an adjective. Familiar, what does it mean? Familiar. Here it is. And it means well known to you, often seen or heard, and therefore easy to recognize. This is familiar. And for the people living in the cave, they are familiar with the cave, and they're familiar with the shadows, right? So they were unwilling to leave what was familiar for them. What was familiar are shadows and the cave itself. So that's it. Yeah, that the three new words: renew, suspect, unwilling, familiar, and suspect somebody, or suspect something, or suspect that. So in that case, we know that suspect can be can work as verb, intransitive or transitive. Both of them are okay. And then willing, be willing to do something. Also unwilling, yeah, have the opposite meaning of unwilling, and is anatomy. Do you know anatomy? Anatomy is willing, be willing to do something. And then familiar. Familiar is, yeah, well known to you, know something well. And yeah, there is a phrase, expression such as be familiar with somebody, with something, with. So that's it. Time for us to practice the words and expressions. Who would like to join? Suspect, unwilling, familiar. So these are the three new words and expressions. Yeah, time for us to practice. Yeah, whose turn now? Yeah, Daisy, you first, please. Hello, Daisy. Good morning.
Good morning. Suspect, suspect, unwilling, familiar. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your excellent pronunciation. And also, yeah, Jean, you please. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, Jean, I cannot hear you. Are you on the mic?
能听见吗？
Are you with us?
好像我这边
Okay,
网不好，
I will
能
waiting
听
for
见
you.
吗？
Oh, you can. Hi, I can hear you now.
Suspect,
Please.
suspect, unwilling, familiar.
Yes, perfect,
对吗？
familiar. Thank you so much. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Now let's go ahead with our grammar points. The grammatic issue. Yeah, even if the suspect, blah. Here, even if is an adverbial clause of concession. You know concession? Yeah, let's double check what does concession mean, okay? Concession. Yeah, have you got it? Concession? Elements. Yeah. Concession. Yeah, concession. In this way, concession. Here, this is adverbial clause of concession. Yeah, concession. Adverbial clause of concession, even if. And then there is a suspected. Suspected here, yeah, even if they're suspected, after suspected, there is a subordinate clause. Yeah, subordinate clause. So we know that there is a word that has been omitted. So that it means, yeah, after that there is an object clause. Yeah, object clause after suspected, and the leading word that has been omitted. So here there is a that has been cancelled, has been omitted. Yeah, so here that can be omitted, and then be unwilling to do something. And it's antonym. Antonym. Do you know antonym? Antonym, it means willing. Be willing to do something. Antonym. So be unwilling to do something. AUN is a negator. Negator hate is the hate of a negator. So unwilling to do something. So here, be unwilling to do something. And then what was familiar? This is another object clause because here they were unwilling to leave. Leave what? Leave something, right? Here, what was familiar works as a something, work as an object, work as an object. So this is what was familiar. This is a subordinate clause, and it is also an object clause to work as an object of leave something. So these are the 4 points of the grammar issue. We know that suspected, even if adverbial clause of concession, and then suspected, intransitive verb, and can be followed by by an objective clause led by that, and that the word that can be omitted, and then the phrase, the verbal phrasal verb, be unwilling to do something. And then what was familiar, it is also an objective clause. So all of them are the grammatic issue. If nothing else, I think we can practice it. We can shadow it. Yeah, that's it. Adverbial clause of concession. Yeah, let's double check. Adverbial clause of concession. And there is another word in our constitution is secession. Yeah, secession. Do you know secession? Maybe something like stop. Suspend. Okay, let's go ahead with the shadowing, okay?
Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
Okay. And this time we need to pay attention to the stressed words. Even if is here if is very weak, right? So we need to listen to it carefully and try our best to shadow it.
Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
Okay. So even if the suspected that there was something more, something more, they were unwilling what? To leave. What was familiar? What is also, it is also weakened. Let's double check.
Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
Yeah, what was familiar? Okay, let's double check.
Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
What's familiar? Yeah, time for us to shadow it. Who would like to shadow it? Who would like to try? 2 times, per person, okay. Yeah, time for us to practice.
Even if they suspected there was something more, They were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
Yeah, okay. And Daisy, your time, please, to lead us.
Okay.
Hello, Daisy. I'll play it for you.
Okay.
Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
Yes, you please.
Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
Wow, fantastic. One more time.
Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
Yes, genius. Yes, thank you
you.
so much. Who would like to chime more?
Even if they suspected there was
Even if and here there is a link, there is a link. Even if
something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Even if they suspected there was something
even if they suspected, even if even if even if even if there was suspected, even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
Unwilling. Okay, they were unwilling. They were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Okay, I will follow it one more time. If the suspect, even if even if even if the suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Okay, let's double check.
Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
Even even if the even if they suspected they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Okay, so time for us to practice more or to recite it. Who is ready now? Yeah, Daisy, you please to recite it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if they suspected, there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
Yes, one more time.
Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar.
Yes.
Familiar.
Yes, fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Yes, thank you so much. I will do that for you. If even if even if even if they suspected there was something more, there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Even if they suspected there was something more, they were unwilling there was something more, they were unwilling to leave what was familiar. Yeah, that's it. It's not easy, right? This is complex compound sentence. Yeah, even if and there are one, two, there are two, three, three, three subordinate clause. Even if it is also adverbial clause, subordinate clause, and then there was something more also yes, subordinate clause, and then what was familiar? Yeah, here what was familiar also all subordinate clause. Yeah, object clause. So that's the grammar issue. And just now we try to keep them in memory. Yeah, so if there is nobody else wanting to try, I think we can end it up here, okay, for today's lecture. Thank you for listening and see you tomorrow. We can go ahead tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.